Today we're going to be replacing the rear suspension assembly on the Apollo City. The tools you'll need to complete this repair are an adjustable wrench, 2.5, 4, and two 6mm Allen keys, and a rubber mallet. So in order to change the rear suspension assembly, which includes the swing arms here and the shocks themselves, the first thing we're going to need to do is remove the wheel. So to do that, I'm going to start by removing the brake line. So I'm using a wrench just to loosen this nut. Often this nut will be able to be freed by hand. This one's a little bit stubborn, so I'm using the wrench. So with the nut removed, I can pull out the line, keep the spring, and if I give this plastic part a small tug and a push down, this should come free. Now the brake line is free. I'm also going to pull out this pin and the lever of the brake arm just to make sure I don't lose anything. I'm going to put the spring here, the nut here, to make sure it all stays together. So now we've done that, I'm going to take 2.5mm Allen key and I'm going to uninstall the screws securing the fender. So these are just next to the main lug nut of the motor. There's two of them, and then two more on the opposite side in the exact same place. Now I'm going to grab a 4mm Allen key and remove this screw here, which is securing the drum brake itself to this swing arm. And with that gone, you can see the drum brake can move around. Now I can take my wrench and start removing the lug nuts. Obviously there is one on each side. So lug nuts are free. So before I pull the motor out, I'm going to loosen these screws on the bottom side, which is the side we're looking at, of the swing arms that are holding the brake line and the motor cable in place. And we just want to move these. We want more slack with the motor cable because we want to put the motor kind of on the side while we're working on the suspension. So now I can simply push up on the axles of the motor and the whole thing should come. The fender might fall separately if I'm not holding on to it. Now, watch that the scooter doesn't go anywhere now that your counterweight, being the rear motor, has moved. Now I'm just going to set this right here because I'm focused on these swing arms and the suspension now. So now I'm going to take two 6mm Allen keys for this main axle here. I need two because if I just use one, the axle is just going to spin in place forever and no work is actually going to get done. So now I want to punch out this axle. Really I should be using a punch. I don't have a punch right now, so I'm using an Allen key in its place. So the mallet, I'm just going to gently tap. Now, I know it's loose. This will pull it right off. Continue pulling this axle out. Now we'll see this is all moving. I have the axle here. Put that down as well. And the other side. Now I just need to remove the suspension. And to do that, I'll need to remove these turn signal covers. So with a 2.5mm Allen key, there's two screws in each one. Now that that's loose, we can see the rod holding the suspension together. I need to remove the turn signal cover on the other side before I can continue. So now that I have access to this rod, holding the suspension. I'm going to take my two 6mm Allen keys one more time. And just like before, I'm going to punch out the rod. Now that the pin is out, this piece should come out completely. Okay, now all we need to do is put everything back together to complete the repair. Of course, you'll be using new components. I'm reusing the same components. So I'm putting this in. Putting the axle through. Our 6mm Allen keys in order to tighten this properly. Now when this is properly tight, there should be no screw head popping up from this wall on the scooter. It should be completely flush so that the brake turn signal cover can fit flush. It's nice and tight. This thing should still be able to pivot. Now I can reinstall these turn signal covers. So I'm going to start installing the swing arms now. It's important to remember, scooter's upside down. These screws that are securing the cables going into the deck, they should be facing you. It shouldn't be upside down. They should be facing you. So I'm going to line this up where it needs to go. Put the axle through. I'm going to leave some slack so I can move this around because I need to bring these suspensions up and make sure they fit in to the hole. There's no screws to install them, they're just press fit. So now with the other arm, should be able to just slide them over the two. And I'm going to take my trusty rubber mallet. Now again, my 6mm Allen keys. Put that on finger tight. So now I haven't tightened the swing arms all the way. I'm leaving a little bit of extra space to make it easier to put back the rear motor. So the rear motor, I have the fender attached to it. And just going to drop it in. Because the swing arms are a little bit extra wide, it should go in no problem. Now that it's in, first thing I'm going to do is install the small fender screws to make sure that's where it needs to be with my 2.5mm Allen key. And do the same thing on the opposite side. I like to do this part before I tighten the swing arms together just to make sure the fender remains where it should be and nothing shifts while I'm tightening. So now before I tighten the suspension arms together, I'm just gonna make sure my drum brake is in the right place by installing it with my 4mm Allen key. Okay, now we can grab our two 6s and bring the swing arms close together. So our wheel spins, everything's where it should be. So now we can hide away the cables properly again. Make sure the motor cable and the taillight cable, brake light, are tucked away. And as we tighten this, I want to make sure it doesn't go through any cables, just that it's holding them in place. And the same thing for the brake line. So now I'm going to reinstall the brake line. I want to put the metal line under and bring this forward. spring, place this retaining piece, put the end through the retaining piece, and now I should be able to just screw on this nut. So now that that's all together, I can put in my lock washers for the motor, and I can go ahead and install the lug nuts. And there we go, we just changed the rear suspension assembly on an Apollo City.